Star Trek Day was September 8th, in reference to the day Star Trek the original series first premiered in 1966. In celebration, StarTrek.com hosted 8 virtual panels for old and new Star Trek series. There were joyful cast reunions, and we got a handful of new details for upcoming shows like Discovery Season 3 and Strange New Worlds. Here are the most interesting things we learned from Star Trek Day. First, a new trailer dropped for Discovery Season 3. We get a look at what the future holds for the Discovery crew. In the trailer, we see that Discovery has crash-landed in the future. Executive producer Alex Kurtzman explains that something goes wrong with the ship that makes it impossible to get back in the air. The crew now have to explore the planet to find something to fix the ship. In a key moment, we see Burnham successfully reaching the future in the year 3188.
Multiple life signs detected.
The Federation is not what it was. It mostly collapsed, and Kurtzman says the whole season is about trying to bring it back. What happened to the Federation didn't happen because of disagreement or strife. Something cataclysmic went down called the Burn, which changed everything. We get more footage of new character Cleveland Booker, aka Book. During the panel, actor David Ajala says that upon meeting, Burnham literally bumps into Book and they throw fists. Executive producer Michelle Paradise says Book becomes a window into this new world for us as someone who is born in the future, offering a completely different perspective. Kurtzman says the dynamic between Book and Burnham over the course of the season is beautiful to watch. Also, Book has a cat named Grudge, who is described as feisty and cynical. Grudge is played by a real cat named Liu. We also see some new characters in the trailer named Adira and Gray. Adira, played by Blue Del Barrio, is non-binary and will be introduced in episode 3. Adira is highly intelligent and forms a bond with Stamets and Culber. Gray, played by Ian Alexander, is Trill and shows up in episode 4. Gray is described as empathetic, warm, and eager to fulfill his lifelong dream of being a Trill host. In the trailer, a new logo for Star Trek Discovery was shown. Alex Kurtzman explains that the Season 1 logo had a variant related to the Klingon storyline, which is now less relevant. Now that the show is jumping 930 years into the future, they decided to change the logo to give it a new look and feel. The upcoming series Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which features Captain Pike, Spock, and Number 1, will be episodic with one-off plots. Unlike Discovery, the new show turns to an episodic model. Executive producer Henry Alonso Myers says this will be a return to the way Star Trek stories were always told in classic series. Ethan Peck says he's thrilled to find the balance in Spock. Anson Mount points out that Pike didn't just learn how he dies, he learns in what circumstances. At some point, he'll be promoted to fleet captain, and he has to accept that in order for his fate to happen.
So what is it that is going to allow him, both in terms of circumstance and emotion, to accept that promotion?
Rebecca Romaine said she's looking forward to learning more about her character, Number 1, and that the writers floated an idea for Number 1's backstory that will hopefully make it to screen. Star Trek Lower Decks showed off some highlights from the back half of Season 1. Showrunner and creator Mike McMahon also announced a couple of upcoming cameos. Kurtwood Smith, who played 3 different roles in Trek, including the President of the Federation in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, will play a tough alien named Klar. And the one and only John Delancey is playing Q in a future episode. Lower Decks is a TNG-era show, so it makes sense that Q would show up. Speaking of TNG, let's move on to Picard. Jonathan Frakes spoke about what it was like to be on set with Patrick Stewart in character as Picard and Riker for the first time in nearly 2 decades.
To see Picard come through the door of my cabin and that wonderful big hug that I was encouraged to throw on him was the easiest and most natural and best way to start that week for me.
Patrick Stewart said an enormous mutual respect keeps Picard and Riker bonded after knowing each other for decades. As for Season 2, Stewart says the first 4 episodes are unlike anything he's read before for Star Trek.
The complexity, the characterization is so intense. The unexpected situations. I can't wait to begin.
Of course, Stewart and Frakes talked about the bond they share with the TNG cast. Will Wheaton says they've become a family and that they keep in touch.
We were in love with one another. And that was what characterized all our relationships.
Those are just some of the highlights. You can check out all the Star Trek Universe panels over on the CBS All Access YouTube channel if you want to watch more. What did you think of Discovery's new trailer? What show are you looking forward to most? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more Star Trek videos as we'll be breaking down Discovery Season 3 in October.